Good morning, everyone. This is BremSter, and today I'm coming to you with a puzzle that is kind of one of mine, but kind of not. This is Lighthouse 639, and this is a puzzle I created with both FullDeck and Virtual. This is based off an idea that I came up with when Fog of War puzzles started existing, and I was playing around with an idea and I couldn't make it work, and I sat down with FullDeck and Virtual one time in a Discord chat and we collaboratively finished the puzzle. The break-in was basically based on mine and everything else is not. Well, it kind of is. We worked together on it. But it is absolutely all three of us made this. So yeah, what else is going on before I get onto the puzzle? Yeah, there's basically the poll for the best puzzle of 2022. So please go to the community tab or to the details below. Check out the playlist of all of the puzzles that were nominated, and then vote on the best puzzles. It would be really, really cool if I could get more engagement. I'm not sure why people aren't engaging. It would be really, really nice to find out what people thought, because as it stands, yeah, it just feels a bit weird. The initial concepts when I did this is everyone said, yeah, it'd be a really cool thing to do, and it seems to have just stopped. So yeah, I'm a little flummoxed. I've had a few people say, oh, you should do the same for your thumbnails, like what are the best thumbnails of the year, but considering I can't even get people to get, I don't know, we'll see. Let's have a look at Lighthouse 639. So this is a fog puzzle, so it's going to be a little bit tricky for me to explain the rules, but maybe I'll be okay. So, normal Sudoku rules apply. In every box, in every row, and in every column, the digits 1 to 9 must be placed without repetition. The grid is covered with fog, well, except for box 5. And what that means is there's an initial light source, basically, in box 5. You can see the clues here. But as you place clues into the grid, say a clue was to be placed, I don't know, here, that would reveal all of the cells that are adjacent to that digit that is placed, and you would be able to see the clues that are removed from the fog. Now, the other rules that are in place are arrows. So digits that are placed on arrows, the sum of those will get placed into the circle of the arrow. There is also green German whisper lines. Adjacent digits on German whisper lines must have a difference of at least 5. So they're the rules in play for this one. Now, arrows and German whisper lines may overlap. However, arrow clues may not overlap with other arrow clues, and German whisper lines may not overlap with other German whisper lines. So, although that's not really relevant when you think about it, but that's the way it was worded. So, let's restart the puzzle to restart my timer, and let's give this a shot. Now, of course, I know a little bit about this puzzle. So the way to look at this is, how does this arrow work? So the first thing we know is there are 3 cells here that all see each other. So this would be a minimum of 1, 2, and 3, which would make this 6, 7, 8, or 9. Except these 2 cells here are critical because they have a difference of at least 5. So if you think about that, that would mean the minimum that you could put on these is 1 and 6. And if this was 1 and 6, that would sum to 7, but the minimum you could put here would be 2, and that would be 1 plus 6, which is 7, plus 2, which is 9. So this has to be a 9, this has to be a 2, and this has to be a 1-6 pair, making this the absolute minimum I could be. And that reveals a whole heap of stuff. Now, what we now have is, and this was part of the original break-in, is this is also a 3-cell arrow, because this arrow continues into the fog here. So you can see it includes these 2 cells and must continue into this cell. So this is a 3-cell arrow that where all the cells see each other in the row. But this has to be at least a 6. So this is a 6, 7, 8, or 9, but it can't be a 9. So this now must contain a 1, because if it doesn't contain a 1, the minimum digits would be 2, 3, and 4, and 2, 3, and 4 is 9. So there must be a 1 in here. And that bounces back into here, because this now can't be a 6, because this German whisper line continues into the fog. And if this was a 6, both of these digits would have to be a 1, and that can't be a 1 because of the 1 on this arrow. So this has to be the 1, this has to be the 6. Now, this is now a high digit, so it is a 6, 7, 8, or 9. Okay, now, to be perfectly honest, I'm not 100% sure how this is supposed to solve, but that'd be cool. So the next thing to look at, I think, is this cell, because this cell has a couple of different arrows coming off it. Now, the first thing to note is this has to be a high digit, because this is an arrow. It's at least a 2-cell arrow, but there's also a whisper line on this arrow. So this cell and this cell are both on the arrow, and they're also both on the whisper line. So the minimum they could be is 1, 6 coming to 7. So this has to be 7, 8, or 9. Now, this being 7, 8, or 9, remember, this whisper line goes into this cell, but this whisper line goes into this cell. So this whisper line is going to do, and let's draw the line, is going to do that. Because the whisper lines can't overlap. So this cell here also has to be a high digit, 6, 7, 8, or 9, but it can't be a 9 because it's on an arrow that connects to it. Now this cell here is a low digit because it's connected to a 7, 8, or 9 on a whisper line, but it can't be a 1 or a 2. So this is a 3 or a 4. If this was a 4, these would both have to be 9, the only digit that is 5 away from 4. So that has to be the 3. This becomes an 8, 9 pair, but you can't put a 9 on an arrow. So this becomes the 8, this becomes the 9. And that resolves that arrow. That basically ends the bit of this puzzle that I know. This becomes a 1. This now becomes a high digit, so 6, 7, or 8. It can't put a 9 on an arrow. This has to be higher than 6, so 7, 8, 9. This is going to be a low digit, so it's 2 or 4. It could be it can't be a 4 because that can't be a 9, so this becomes a 2. Now, this is going to be a 1, a 3. It can't be a 4 because if this was a 4, the minimum would be 4 and 6, and that would have to be a 10. So, where am I looking now? There is a 9 down here somewhere. I'll be honest with you, I am not 100% sure. And this is the cool thing about coming back to puzzles after a period of time. So this is a 2-cell arrow. One of the digits must be high, so it must have a 6 or a 7 on it. Now, the thing is, we don't know whether the arrow is a 2 or a 3-cell arrow, and whether it has, like, it possibly could even be a 4-cell arrow. There'll be something obvious that I'm missing, because there always is. Like, 2 can't be in those, so 2 is in one of those. And again, people often say, why don't you practice your own puzzles? Because I like discovering them again. There can't be a 6 here because of this 6, and that's been the case for a long time. So this is either 7 or 8. If it's 7, it's 1, 2, 4. It's got to be this, doesn't it? So there has to be a 6 or a 7 in here. If this is 7, it would have to be 7, 2. But it could be? If it's 6, it could be 6, 1. Well, no, hang on. This can't be a 4-cell arrow because this has a minimum of 7 on it. I'm completely stumped. What if I... There is an 8 down here because 8 can't go in these. There is a 1 in here. What have I done? This can't be a 6. And the reason it can't be a 6 is because it's next to a 2 on the line. So this is 7 or 8. So it's got to be this, right? Oh, so this can't be a 3. That's what I'm missing, and it's very obvious because 7 and 3 is 10. So this is a 1. That's what I was missing. So this is 1, 7, 8, and this can't be a 7 anymore. So that's what I was missing. It was incredibly obvious, and I was just being silly. So this can't be a 6 on here anymore because 6 would have to go with 1. And I can't put a 6 on this arrow. So there is a 7 on this arrow now. And the 7 would have to go with a 2 because I can't put it with a 1. So this has to be 2, 7? Because I have to put a high digit on here. And it can't be 8 or 9. It can't be 6 because I can't put 1. And the 7 has to go with 1 or 2. And it can't be, this has to be a 2, 7 pair, which gets me to my 9. So this is the end of the arrow. Okay. This can't be a 6 because if this is a 6, this would also have to be a 1. So that's not a 6. So where does 6 go in this column? So I can't put 6 in here because there's already a 6 in the box. I can't put 6 here because I'd have to put a 6 here. I can't put 6 here because this is a low digit. This is 2, 3, or 4. And I can't put 6 down here because all of these are on a whisper line. And if I put a 6 on a whisper line, they have to go next to a 1. So there's no 6 here, there's no 6 here, and there's no 6 in either of those. That becomes a 6. This is a 6 arrow, and it goes here, here, here. So these are 1, 2, and 3. So there's no 2, 3 here. That becomes a 4, which makes this a 9. This 2 means this is not a 2, so there is a 2 in here, which means there is a 2 in one of those 2 cells, which means one of those is low, which means these are from this is a 2, 3 pair because of the alternating nature of whisper lines. So a whisper line must go high, low because of the 5 difference. So these are 2, 3, and this becomes a high digit, cannot be 6, cannot be 7 because one of them is 3. This is an 8 or a 9. It must be an 8 because there's already a 9 in the row because that's the only thing that's apart from the 3. This is not the 8. In fact, we know what these are. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 7 go in here. So this is a known triple, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And this is not an 8. Okay. So this can't be 1, 2, or 3. So it can't be the 1. This has a minimum, it can't be 4 either. So this can't be 1, 2, or 4. So this has to be an 8. This has to be a 5. So these could be 1, 2, which is the minimum they could be to get me into, keep me in 8. The 1, 2 makes this the 7 and this the 2. This is low, so this has to be high. So it's 6, 7, 8, 9. And this has to be low, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't like colouring on fog. That's part of the problem. Okay. Now, there's no... Oh, this 8 looks down. There's no 8 here, so this is the 8. Now, there has to be a low digit here. Now, I don't think I can use a... Maybe I could use a 1. But I can't put 6 or 7 on here. So there's an 8 or a 9 on here, but I'm not sure which. There is a 1 in here by Sudoku. And it's not there on the arrow. So there's a 1 in one of those two. But this isn't... There's an arrow buried in here. So this has to be the shaft of an arrow, and this has to be the circle. There's no other way this could work, because I can't hide the other part of the arrow. So this has to be the 1. And this is one higher than this. But this could still be a low digit. Well, this is a triple in the row. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 6. So if this is 3, this is 4. If it's 4, it's 5. If it's 6, it's 7. If this is 4, this is 9. This can't be 5, so this can't be 4. And if this is 7, this is 1 or 2, and it can't be. This is 4, 9, and that makes this 3, and this is not 3 or 4, this is 6. So this is 4. There's no 4 here. Oh, the 1, 2 here makes this 3, which makes this 1, which takes 1 out of those. This becomes 2, 3, which makes this 4 and this 3. This is now a pair. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 8. This 8 resolves it. That's the 5, that's the 8. There's no 8 here. There is a 3 next to it, though. So this is now 9. The 3 makes this 2 and this 3, and this is now a 7 to complete the box. This now has to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, and 8, and 7 can't go next to 3. This is the 8, this is the 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and those are not resolved. Let's look at this triple. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. That can't be 3 or 4, that's the 6. So this is a 3, 4. The 8 here looks down, making this 7, so this is 8. This is now a pair. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The 3, 4 here makes this 5 and this 4. So this is a pair. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So these are 1, 2, 5, and 7. There's no 2 there. Okay. This is a triple. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 7. This is a 5 because of the 1, 7 already in this row. And this becomes a 1, 7. Okay. Now, 9 can go next to 1, 2. 1, 2 completes the 8 arrow. All of this is good. So I need to now work with what we've got here. This is also a triple. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, and 9. Which isn't doing much. I do like this puzzle. So, this has a minimum of 4. So it's 4, 5, 7, or 8. Can't be 8. So it's 4, 5, or 7. So what are these? I've got to put an 8 in one of those two. So they're 4, 5, 7, and 8. This isn't 4 or 7. Now this digit, which this arrow could potentially continue, but maybe I need to figure out what this could be. Like this can't be a low digit, because if this is a low digit, oh, maybe it could be if the arrow continues. Because I honestly can't remember. So if this is a 3-digit arrow, this could be like 1, 2, 4, and I could put a 7. Actually, I couldn't put a 7 anywhere. Couldn't put an 8 anywhere, but I could potentially put a 9 somewhere. So I do have to put a 1 in here somewhere. Maybe it's Sudoku. Let's look at some Sudoku. I have to put a 3 down here somewhere as well, and it's not there. So there is, oh, there's no 9 here. This is a 3-9 pair. So this 3-9 pair, this can't be a 3, or could it? 3 and 4 plus 1. If this is a 3, the minimum, if this is a 3, this would have to be an 8 or a 9. This is a 3, this would have to be an 8 or a 9, and it can't be. So this is a 9. This is now 1, 2, 3, or 4. It's not 1 or 3. So this is 2 or 4. Now this is a 9 arrow. So it's 7, 2, 5, 4. It can't be 5, 4 or 4, 5. So there's no 1 here. This is now a 3. This is 2, 5, or 5 or 7. for the row. This is 2, 4, 5, 7, 8. This is 1 and 6, which puts 6 down here somewhere. Yeah. Where does 6 go in here? So 6 is down here. So 6 can't go in those because 6 is down here. And 6 can't go in those. So the only place 6 can go in the row is there. This becomes 4, 9. So now 9 has to go there. And now I've got another whisper line. I don't remember this at all. This is cool. This is 2, 3, or 4. Two is in here for the box, because I can't put it up here because of this 2, and this is a 1, 6. So this is a 1, this is a 2. This is not a 2. Now, I'm not sure if this whisper line continues, but these 2 are definitely on the whisper line. If this is a 6, this is a 1. Maybe. One is in here somewhere. Oh, wow. Got to put a 2 down here. And it has to be here because of this 2. So that I had 2's here, a 2 here, so 2 had to be down here, and this 2 is looking across. So this becomes a 2. So this becomes a 4, this becomes a 3. This 4 takes 4 out of there, whoops, which means this is the only place in this box for a 4, which means this becomes a 5, and there's no 5 in any of those. The only place I can put 5 in this box is there, so this becomes the 8. The 5 looks up making this 6 and this 5. The 6 looks down making this 1 and this 6. And this... No, I've got 2 5s in the box. I've broken the puzzle. What did I... Man. So yeah, this had to be 4. This has to be 3. I hope I haven't broken this completely and utterly. The only place I can put 4 is there. I think... So this becomes 5. This becomes 8. There's no 5 or 8 there. This becomes 7. This becomes 2. These are 1, 2, no, not 3, 4, 5, 6, and 8. And this 8 gives me the order. 6 and 8. The 8 has to go with 1, 2, or 3, so it has to go with a 1. It has to go with a low digit, which makes this 6 and this 1. I obviously did something wrong, and I'm not sure what. 5 and 6. These are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 7. And this 5 will make this the 7 and this the 5. The 7 looks over making this 1 and this 7. The 6 looks over making this 9 and this 6. The 9 looks back making this 4 and this 9, because the whole puzzle is revealed now. The 4 looks over making this 3 and this 4. The 3 looks over making this 2 and this 3. The 5 looks over making this 7 and this 5. 5 and 7 looks over making this 2. This 5 looks over making this 7 and this 5, and that is the completion of Lighthouse 639. Wasn't designed to be particularly hard, but there are a few things in there that were designed to be a bit tricky. One of the things I remember putting in that we really, really liked is when you started resolved box 7, which took me way too long to expose. The whisper line here threw a 6 all the way up into the top here, which started to moving you through. So rather than working on the edges of the fog, you could actually start putting digits deep into the fog, hence the lighthouse concept. I hope you enjoyed the puzzle. I know we enjoyed setting it and we had some good times working together. Yeah, hope you enjoyed it. Thank you everyone for watching, and as always, good luck with your solving.